Welcome back to Beallsville, Ohio for our game of the week between the Monroe Central Seminoles and the Beallsville Blue Devils. Here come the Noles onto the field with their ceremonial spears, although not lit tonight. Sometimes they have one that is lit on fire, but the rain would put it out definitely tonight, and they come out and stick their spears at midfield. The Noles are pumped, and which is customary in this rivalry. Little cat and mouse game coming out of the locker rooms. The Noles first. It's supposed to be kickoff time about now. And here comes Beallsville. They are pumped for this one. Playoffs on the line for Big Blue.
Well, as I said in the opening, Mike, when you have the playoff berth running, this is a playoff game for Beallsville, knowing if they win, they get to play next week. If they do not win, their season is over. So they're a hungry team, and I'm sure Coach Caldwell is going to pull all the tricks out of the book. We may see reverses. We may see halfback passes. Just a little bit of everything.
Here come the Blue Devils. And this rivalry dates way back to the Woodsfield days before Monroe Central consolidated Skyview and Woodsfield. Since then, the Noles have won 5 out of 8, including last year, 14-0. But this pretty much goes back and forth no matter what the size of the schools. Monroe Central double the size of Beallsville in terms of enrollment in boys.
Well, the last couple of years, Dave, the luster of this game's been a little bit less because one team has come in with a lesser record. Last year, Beallsville had a down year. Monroe Central real strong. The year before that, Monroe Central had a struggling season. Beallsville was playoff bound. But after a couple-year break in that, both teams have a lot riding tonight.
A lot of umbrellas, and you'll see rain throughout the entire game. Radar called for a lot of rain tonight. We've already started to see some places where puddles are forming around the 30-yard line on each side as the Blue Devils are getting ready for action. And they're all blue unis. Of course, the Noles, black pants, white tops. Monroe Central won the toss, but they elected to defer to the second half. So they'll kick off with Michael Joris. And the Blue Devils are dangerous returning the football. Aaron Harper, sophomore number 5, is back deep, along with Tyler Brown in the middle of the field, probably the most dangerous Blue Devil, and Joey Crum back deep as well. 3 players back deep to receive. You see the Noles. There's Harper. The officials now come together. Keeping the balls dry tonight will be a task. Larry Ryan's crew working this game along with Joe Kohler, the Shub, Chris Schubert, Johnny Timko, and Roger Weaver. We know about Beallsville. They like the onside kick to surprise teams. We've seen that umpteen times in this series. And here comes Joris on the run-up. It'll be taken at the 12-yard line by Tyler Brown. A fake to reverse, and Brown is across the 30 and puts his head down to around the 34. Let's look at the offense of Beallsville. And there may be a flag. Was there a flag down over there? Nope. Thought it was a flag. Beallsville offensively. Well, Greg Darby is the trigger man, the left-hander. 5'11", 190-pound junior. He's thrown for 1,461 yards. Tyler Brown has 12 touchdowns on the ground. Michael Abrick, Stevie Skinner, Crum, and Rodney Reed, the tight end. Check the guys up front here just a second. First down for the Blue Devils on their own 33-yard line. And Tyler Shoemaker, the nose tackle for the Noles, a little too tricky, and he jumps offside.
That's just one of the tricks early in the game, Mike, where Greg Darby up there, changing his cadence a little bit, giving it that hard pounce, and it picks up 3 yards for Beallsville. Just a little bit of over-aggressiveness for that Monroe Central defense.
Vince Pittman is the center with Eric Darby and Robert O'Hara the guards. Lucas and Skinner are the tackles for the Blue Devils. Pretty diverse offense. They like to throw the ball, and there goes Crum to the left. He's the leading receiver with 9 touchdown grabs on this team. Who has the ball? It's up the middle across the 40. and Darby kept the football.
Just a straight ahead quarterback sneak, nothing tricky here. Try to get some yardage after that penalty on 1st and 5. Now you set yourself up 2nd down and short. That's about 3 yards for Darby on the sneak.
John Michael Spielman and Dan Miller the ends. Shoemaker on the nose. TJ Stevens, Nate Schauber the tackles. That's a solid front 5 for the Noles. Secondary and linebackers in just a moment. Christopher Wilson, the team's leading tackler at linebacker. Here's Darby and the Blue Devils on 2nd down and 2. Fumbled the snap. May have been centered a hair early.
Well, Darby able to get the ball back, but that's just what may be one of many on the exchange. So important between that quarterback and center.
There's Wilson wearing 46. Sam Miller, Adam Conrad and Gabe Gordon, the corners. Aaron Brown and Josh Ishii, the safeties for the Noles. Coach Schumann's Noles. Defensively, Sherman. They've been unbelievably awesome this year, allowing 3 points per contest and 5 shutouts in 9 games. That's awesome. Here's Darby. 3rd down 2. Second man through is Brown, and he has the 1st down. Tyler Brown carries, and the Blue Devils move the football and the chains.
We expect to see Beallsville throw the ball quite a bit. Don't know how the weather is going to affect that, but here tonight, 3 plays there and 3 runs so far, even though one of them was a fumbled snap. But now you get that first down of the game, and now you're at the 45-yard line, so you have a lot of different weapons available now on 1st and 10.
Tyler Brown's 100th carry of the season. He's approaching the 700-yard mark. Pretty good balance offensively, although the passing numbers for Darby are incredible. And we have the 2 leading touchdown scorers in the Ohio Valley in this game. Darby, long count, fakes the first guy, hand it off. It's Michael Abrig. If you look up and down this Blue Devil roster, a lot of same names, a lot of cousins and brothers, relatives, although that can be said for Monroe Central as well.
I think that's commonplace in small communities. Families set here and they stay here for a long time, and what you have now in both communities is boys playing the game whose parents or dads played the game for these coaches.
No doubt. You look down at the Beallsville side, you see Blues. There's 2 Blues on the sideline. There were a lot of those here at Beallsville. And of course, Shoemakers. There are Shoemakers in both high schools, Monroe Central, Beallsville. 2nd down, 9 from the 46. I think somebody moved. Whistles as Abrig is tackled near midfield. No flags on the play.
Well, there's some movement there, but obviously not into the neutral zone, or at least not in the opinion of the officials.
Well, I saw Vince Pittman, the center, fire out first. He snapped it, and he was into the defensive line before anyone. No penalty. 3rd down, 7. Need to get to the 45 of the Noles.
And no passes yet, Mike, for Beallsville. This could be the opportunity for the game's first pass.
Crum, top of your screen, one-on-one with Josh Ishii, and Darby looking near side. Darby throws it incomplete. He wanted Brown out of the backfield, guarded by Brown.
You talked earlier about Crum and Maddie as the big receivers for Beallsville, but Brown coming out of the backfield also has over 20 catches, and they'll put him in a lot of different positions on the field. So there's 3 weapons there that Beallsville has offensively.
Coach Sherman told me that he wasn't going to load up the box as much. If his front 5 could control the running game, they'd like to worry about their receiving core of Beallsville a little bit more than normal. Punt formation for the Blue Devils. Tyler Brown back. Good snap. Low punt. Bounces. 2 hops to Ishii. He is exciting on punt returns. Look at Ishii. Couple of blocks. Josh Ishii. Look at him fly. Needs one more block. Can he stay on his feet? Tackled by Maddie. Touchdown saving tackle. And Josh Ishii shows no effects of a wet field. A huge return for the Noles.
Well, really a risky play to take that ball on a bounce with a wet football, especially after it hit right close to a mud puddle down there. But Ishii turned it up field and just outran some people. And as you say, Michael Matty of Beallsville making a tackle, touchdown saving or touchdown delaying tackle. The next few plays will tell. But, nice job by Matty to make that play. As you see Ishii there, and Matty was definitely the last man that had a chance.
Number 11 brings down number 11, our first big play of the game. Ball just inside the 20. Handed off to the that's Wilson, Christopher Wilson, the tailback. Gabe Gordon, the fullback, went to the right. Handed it off straight ahead. Look at the Monroe Central offense here in just a second. Led by Michael Joris, Gabe Gordon, Christopher Wilson, Adam Conrad, the team's leading receiver, Ishii, and Danny Miller, the tight end. Here's a good look at the I formation. Here's Joris. Put a man in motion, toss it to Wilson. This is their bread and butter play with Gordon leading, and Wilson dips inside the 10. Should be enough for a Monroe Central first down, and you've seen a lot of Monroe Central football, Jeff, and that is their bread and butter, isn't it?
Well, they like to get Wilson out around the end behind a good block of a pulling lineman and also a lead block, and very effective there.
There's the offensive line. It's a good one, anchored by John Michael Spielman at center, T.J. Stevens and Nate Schauber and Tyler Shoemaker, all returners from last year's state semifinalists.
And just short of the first down there, Mike, so it's going to be third down and a yard.
I jumped the gun a little bit. Did not get it. Third down and 1. Powerhouse backfield. It's Wilson. Christopher Wilson hitting the backfield. Rodney Reed, the first man there. I think he got the first down, though, Jeff.
But real nice close there by Reed, who is one of the linebackers. He did a good job making that play.
There's Reed, bottom of your screen, number 22, joined by Harper and Abrigg at linebacker. Skinner up front there with Pittman, Blake Lucas, and Eric Darby. Secondary is where all the speed guys are and the skilled guys for Beallsville. Take a look at them here in just a few seconds. Here it is, first and goal for the Noles. Gabe Gordon hammering his way inside the 5-yard line. And Gordo pounding his way inside there. And I love this kid. He's a junior, runs hard, defense well. Kid's an all-around player. Tyler Brown, Matty, Darby, and Crum, the secondary for Dave Caldwell.
Well, people forget about Gabe Gordon at times at that fullback position, and he has almost 600 yards rushing as a nice compliment to Wilson in the backfield.
Here's the eye set now. Joris turns and hands. They run the lead to the left side. Wilson bounces off a couple of tacklers and is into the end zone for a Monroe Central touchdown. Christopher Wilson, and the Noles are on the board early, showing no effect of a wet field.
Well, we said at the opening there, Mike, how important the first drive or two is in a ball game, any game, especially in a game where field conditions are going to get increasingly worse. So Monroe Central breaks in there first with 5:41 on the clock in the first quarter.
All set up by Ishii's explosive punt return. Going for 2. Toss sweep. Wilson cutting it back. Wilson. He's in for 2. And the Noles lead it 8-0.
And I believe, Mike, that going for 2 there is dictated by the weather conditions because of how difficult that snap and hold would be. And now at 8-0, if Beallsville does score, that just kind of dictates decisions throughout the whole game.
On the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, 8-0. Monroe Central leads Beallsville here in the first quarter. And, well, it looked pretty impressive. It looked like Monroe Central is setting the tone for this one. They just did nothing wrong on that possession, set up by a great punt return. By the way, 21st touchdown for Christopher Wilson, which is tops in the Ohio Valley.
And he's been very reliable this year in those short yardage situations. He has a couple of long runs, but a lot of short runs inside the 10. But he runs very hard for a kid all the bigger he is, and it's hard not to give him the ball down there in those situations.
Rain continues to fall here. It's been steady for at least an hour, maybe 45 minutes before the kickoff, and it hasn't stopped yet, and it doesn't look like it's going to. A lot of fans standing around the park here at Big Blue Stadium, and a lot of them have either ponchos or umbrellas. Saw some diehard Blue Devil fans here about 2 hours before the game in the stands to get their spot, sitting there looking at nobody on the field for about an hour and a half before the game.
Well, and definitely not as big a crowd as what a good weather night would have brought out, but a great crowd considering the weather.
Here's the kick, and it's taken by Brown, fumbled as he gets back on top of it, and wisely takes it there. So the Blue Devils will be pinned deep in their own end.
And there's just not a lot a young man can do on that wet football, and I think Tyler Brown did the smart thing and not trying to pick it up and just falling on it, even though it's not very good field position for Beallsville in their second possession at the 15. But you try to pick a football up like that, who knows what direction it's going to squirt.
So here comes Beallsville, needing to get it out of their own end, Jeff. Field position always a huge factor, and Jacer Costa's teams have been great at pinning teams down deep in their own end and taking advantage of it.
And there's,
happens.
And there's the 8 men up tight like you talked about.
There's the handoff, and it's, well, actually Darby
on the keeper.
Football. Darby kept it. Got a couple of yards, but not much. Mentioned how stout that Monroe Central defense is, and boy, that was the story of their team last year. We can talk about Joris and Ishii and Wilson and Gordon, but that's the defense is the key to this team.
Well, it seems kind of odd to say, but, Mike, if you don't give up any points, you're not going to lose. It may take a while, but you're not going to lose.
You may still be playing, but here we go. Second down, 6 for Darby and the Blue. Gonna pass it. Near side on the in route. Floater and incomplete. Looking for Crum.
There's Joey Crum at 6'4" against Josh Ishii, who's just 5'7". But a fine job by Ishii and good position. The ball may have sailed just a little bit on Darby, and that's understandable with as wet as that football has to be.
And it'll just get worse. These balls will be slippery and slippery all night. Did I mention they'll be slippery? I mean, it'll be tough to throw the football here in this one. That's why Jacer Costa likes the fact that he has a potent running game. What a year Wilson has had, offensively and defensively. Third down, 7. Michael Abrig in motion, and then someone on the left side moved. Darby went out from underneath center.
That's going to be delay of game. That comes from the back judge, Mike, and I'm sure that's going to be a 5-yard delay of game penalty. And it took a while there as Darby came up and was looking over the play and then sending a man in motion, so things just really didn't develop at all. And 25 seconds to get that play off, and they didn't do it.
There's Michael Maddie with head coach. Dave Caldwell sending the play in. Dave Caldwell all the way down the other end there. Eight 0 Monroe Central leads on the Bill Forbes scoreboard. Now it's third down, 11. Another flag, timeout rather, another whistle, timeout, Beallsville. And they know how important it is to get the ball out of their end. Punts aren't going to travel far tonight, Jeff. So if they're forced to punt, Monroe's going to get great field position.
And Monroe Central has very good return men, and we saw that earlier.
Yeah, Ishii didn't get the total number on the run, but it had to be over 60 yards. Caught it somewhere inside the 30, got down near the 20.
I would say somewhere in the 50 to 55-yard range.
8-0 Monroe Central here on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. We're in Beallsville. It's been raining all night. And is this the case where one of those, it might be a case where, Monroe's just trying to get through this game and not get any injuries because they're already in the playoffs. We'll take a timeout. More from Beallsville coming up in just a few minutes. You're watching the high school football game of the week. Now we're back in Beallsville. Mike Anthony, Jeff Stevens, third down, 11. Big play for Beallsville's offense early. Darby looking left, tipped, intended for Maddie Wilson on the coverage. It'll be 4th down and 11. Punt team coming out. Coach Caldwell out talking to Johnny Timko. The referee on the near side. So it'll be punt formation time for Beallsville.
And this is going to be excellent field position for Monroe Central once again, Mike, as the deep man Ishii and Conrad standing on the Beallsville 40-yard line.
Got to get a good snap and catch here out of Tyler Brown, the punter. Good snap. Kick low towards the sideline. Let that one, look at that thing die at the 38-yard line. What a start for Monroe Central. And you give them a short field, and you're in trouble.
Well, after the early return by Ishii, I think Brown was obviously trying to kick the ball away from Monroe Central's deep man. And in high school ball, that's very tough to do in good conditions, let alone wet conditions. And as you just said, the ball didn't go anywhere. It hit that wet grass and stopped.
Wow. 4.5 to go in the first quarter. It'll be interesting to see how many times Beallsville will get across midfield. Maybe not in the first quarter, and maybe not the entire half the way this has been going. Here's Joris. Wishbone in the backfield. Gordon, fake it. Wilson, running room across the 35. Hit by Maddie, but not before about 5 yards on first down for the Noles.
Well, you saw Monroe Central that time come out in a different formation, a wishbone, and Monroe Central uses a lot of formations. They'll go later in the game. You'll probably see some twins and some trips. You know, you'll see power eye. You'll see slots. And a lot more formations than what a lot of people think J. Circosta teams normally do.
Weather may dictate that too, whether you see many passing formations. Of course, the Noles don't want to give much away for potential playoff teams as well. Here is Wilson, bouncing it outside, breaking one tackle. Wilson running hard near the 25. He broke one tackle and got the first down. I think he broke off the tackle of Michael Abrick.
Well, Chris Wilson listed in the program at 160 pounds, which if you watch him play, and you see here how he'll be hit, just past the line of scrimmage by Abrick, but able to keep his feet and goes hard until he's finally brought down there after the first down.
Noles moving the football. Now a sidecar as Joris in the shotgun. It's Gordon. Rather Wilson. That is Gordon. It was right the first time. And do we have a touchdown? Gabe Gordon dives. Did he break the plane? Touchdown!
Looked like one official was going to mark him down. The other official said touchdown, but it's going to be a score.
25-yard run by Gabe Gordon. The lone sidecar, you saw the trips drawing the defense all the way to the right side of the field, Jeff Stevens, and then they run it left.
Well, spread the field, put some wide receivers, get the people out of the middle of the field defensively, and there's Gordon, and that's not a typical fullback once he gets out there going and diving for the pylon. You can see that he was able to get inside that pylon for the score. It looks like Monroe Central will go for 2 once again.
2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Fake it, option right, Wilson's open, but Joris elects to bull his way into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So, 3:15 to play, first quarter. It's all Noles, 16-0 on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. You see how powerful this running attack is with Wilson. Broke a couple of tackles on that drive, and then you gear up for him so much, and then Gordon burns you. And I love Gordon. 25-yard scamper, dives into the end zone a la Maurice Claret with the ball outstretched.
Well, and then there's another example of another weapon, Mike, that you don't think about, and that's running the option on the extra point. And there's Michael Joris, who is the biggest offensive starter that the Seminoles have. And he just tucked it under and went into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. But here's Gordon once again, and the end of that play, he was not going to be denied. He knew he had some pressure from the right, and he just stretched out and used some pretty good speed.
Oh, I'll tell you what, now that was great speed. For a big kid, 6'1", about 191, just a junior. He is already on the Mike Anthony All-America team for next year. I'm going to get on the Gabe Gordon bandwagon for next year. Already have been on it. 2 years. 16-0. The Noles. Here's the kick. Fielded straight up the middle. And breaking it outside is Aaron Harper, the sophomore, and he gets it up near midfield. So it wasn't a very big kick, and Harper made him pay.
I think they're looking to go to a squib kick and put it on the ground, make somebody pick it up. Harper picked it up clean. He knew what to do and broke to the outside and going to his left, breaking one tackle and then just running away from people. Pulled down there as he on a high tackle at the shoulders as he was near the out-of-bounds line. But Beallsville with their best starting position now at their own 48-yard line.
Dave Caldwell getting pulled back near the sideline. He has been known to venture out beyond the numerals. Beallsville their own 48. 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Down 2 scores. Handed off. Oh, and a big hit right away by T.J. Stevens. Did the ball come out? It was on Tyler Brown, but I think they're going to mark him down. A big stick by T.J. Stevens on Tyler Brown.
Just penetrated a gap, almost like no one touched him. Put a big hit on. I believe the ball did come loose, but the official said the forward progress was stopped. You'll get a good look at that right here. And there's Stevens right in the middle. He's just going to come through. Somebody missed a block. And the ball was loose, but I believe Darby may have been able to get back on the ball.
So second down and 11. They lost a yard. Now they line up with 2 wings, 2 ends, and Tyler Brown in the backfield. Darby hands it off to Brown. Brown stopped short of the original line of scrimmage. Nate Schauber piling on, but it was Tyler Shoemaker and T.J. Stevens.
Well, you
Initial
mentioned,
hits.
yeah, you mentioned at the start, Mike, that Monroe Central felt like if their front 5 could do a good job stopping the run, they felt pretty good with their secondary matching up against Beallsville's receivers. And thus far, in almost 1 quarter of play, they have done a nice job in stopping the run. Stevens on the play before, Schauber there, also Shoemaker.
Yeah. Michael Maddie, the big fella, out of the game. Crum in. He's lined up top of your screen with Christopher Wilson. Darby trying to keep those hands dry. 3rd down 10. Darby straight back. Darby floats it towards Crum. Caught. Be short of the first down, I think. But the Blue Devils are in the Monroe Central territory.
A nice job there. I believe that was Wilson on the tackle to bring Crum down just about a yard short. But I think 4th down 16-0. Coach Caldwell at the 42-yard line. No decision to be made. He'll go for it. 4th
down, and on the 3rd down play, Jeff, you saw the ball a little high, but if you're going to miss these receivers, miss them high because they can go get them, these big fellas. Crum is big.
Yeah, 6'4". You put it up high where the defensive backs cannot make a play.
Darby might have moved, but no flags, and Brown is hitting the backfield. I don't think he got the first down. Be really close.
A little bit unusual to go to a play outside. I think the play was supposed to go a little bit to the inside, but no hole there, so Brown tried to bounce it to the outside. The ball's close to the 41-yard line. From here, Mike, I think he may have that first down, but it's very, very close.
Bringing the chains in.
And we talked about the wet conditions that might offset some of Monroe Central's quickness. You know, Brown's a very quick back also, so the wetness is going to really hurt him. And it is a first down.
Did get it by the length of the football. First down, Blue Devils. There's Tyler Brown running hard. Gordon turned him in from his cornerback position. He came up and was helping with run support.
This is a very, very crucial possession for Beallsville. When you're already down 16-0 in the closing moments of the first quarter, you have to get some points out of this drive. If you don't, it's going to be a long, long night.
Well, Maddie out of there again, and Crum lined up tight end to the left. Steve Skinner in the backfield now for the Blue Devils, 42. Little inside handoff. Stevens was there, and Abrig breaks a Schauber tackle and gets it across the 40. Broke 2 tackles that time. A little inside handoff.
Again, that's just one of those different things that Coach Caldwell is going to bring out. And those are a lot more dangerous on drive footing, but something that Coach felt like he could look at. And Abrig picks up about 2, close to 3 yards as we are at the end of the first quarter.
All zeros on the clocks here at Beallsville, Ohio, Blue Devil Stadium. The game of the week between Monroe Central and Beallsville, the backyard brawl. And it's 16-0 Monroe Central on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. Second quarter action coming up. Don't go away. You're watching the WTRF Game of the Week.
Credit Union, what do you want out of life? Life is what you make it. Grab hold and you can take it. And you need someone who cares financially. Leroy Med Credit Union, what do you want out of life?
Hey, we're back in Beallsville. 12 minutes on the clock for the second quarter. Mike Anthony and Jeff Stevens out here in Beallsville, pouring down rain, as you may be able to see in the picture. You see it up more towards the lights, but it's been raining for a long time here in Beallsville, and it's really hasn't played a factor yet. There are some puddles on the field, but it'll get worse as the game progresses. Here it is 2nd and 8 as we start the second quarter. And the man in motion is Harper. The dive play to Brown. Hit by Miller at the 35. But a nice play by Beallsville. Ball at the 35, and as you see Chris Schubert, the official, do a nice job of putting a towel over the ball as it sits there.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do up to only a certain point. He's keeping the towel over the ball, but once the team breaks the huddle, he's going to take the towel off, and that ball is going to gain a lot of moisture now before the center comes out over the ball. So there's really nothing the officials can do. They're doing as good a job as what they can.
Third down and about 4. There's Maddie in motion, lined up in the backfield. Knoll showing blitz. Here they come. And Darby's going to keep it. Darby has the first down, and Wilson makes the tackle at the 25. But it's a first down, Beallsville. And they kept it in the hands of their best athlete, Greg Darby, the junior quarterback.
What else looked like, Mike, as he came out from center, he bobbled that snap for a moment.
Yeah. Sure did. There he is coming around the end. John Michael Spielman, the defensive end, slipped as he was coming off of his block.
And look for that to be something that Coach Caldwell will go back to see if that is an opening or, in fact, it was able to gain yardage because of a slip by a defensive player.
Here's Darby and the Blue Devils. Of course, Beallsville has brand new helmets this year, like a lot of the high school teams have gone to. And they're going to get more time to talk about it because they take time out.
I think they were on the verge of another delay of game penalty, Mike.
Second timeout, and Greg Darby not happy with himself on the sidelines. And I think he may be the culprit as Coach Caldwell goes over and talks to him. Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard at 16-0. Monroe Central. Time for a quick break. And we're back with more second quarter action right after this. You're watching the WTRF High School Football Game of the Week. Mike Anthony and Jeff Stevens here in Beallsville. It's 16-0. Knowles playoff bound again. It's just a matter of who will be coming to Woodsfield next Saturday. And now Greg Darby under center as he sends a man in motion. A lot of movement and flags as Brown carries the football.
With some movement, I think the Beallsville people starting to look for a flag for offside, but I don't believe that's what you're going to get. That's from the umpire, and many times, Mike, that is an indication of holding.
Chris Schubert talking it over with Larry Ryan, veteran official. Who moved first? Saw one of the Knowles heads bop up on that left side. I think it was Miller's head. May have jumped in the neutral zone, and then one of the Blue Devils moved. It was the left side of the Beallsville offensive line, Blake Lucas, that moved. Just a matter of if...
It's a rather lengthy discussion. The officials wanting to make sure that they get it right. And they will pick the flag up, Mike, and say that there was not a penalty.
So, okay. Second down, ball at the 21-yard line, about 7 to go. 10.5 minutes to go in the half.
And you like to see the officials take the time and talk about it and make sure that they get the proper call, or in this case, the proper non-call.
Here's Darby, sending Harper in motion. Nearly bobbled the snap again, and Tyler Brown hit as he touches it by T.J. Stevens. The anchor of the middle of that defensive line for the Knowles comes up big again.
Well, that's a couple of times we have seen T.J. Stevens in the backfield. It's almost like he's lining up there. That's going to make Brown lose about 2 yards.
Pushes it back to a 3rd down and 8.
And you'll see again on the replay, just Brown, the time he had the ball and someone missing a block there, Stevens just beat him to the spot.
Abrick comes in. That's Michael. There's Stevens. Good look at that Monroe defense. Lot of veterans back. Just about everyone started on defense last year for the Knowles. Fake it to the first man. Give it to Brown off the right side. He's tripped up, hit in the backfield initially by Miller.
Well,
Dan Miller.
Dan Miller did a nice job as a defensive end and turned that play back to the inside. Pickup of only a couple of yards. And that's going to bring up 4th down and long. But they were not able to get the block to force him to the outside, but that's just real nice position defense.
So 4th down, about 7 now. May see something tricky, although I wouldn't count it out. A reverse pass. Look for Crum somewhere to have the ball. Maddie. Crum at 6'4", lined up with Wilson at about 5'9" here on the near side. It's going to be a delay of game penalty. They have double coverage now on Crum.
With a lot of confusion in the Beallsville backfield there between Brown and Maddie and exactly how they were supposed to line up. You know, very possibly some new formations, changes, but just, you know, not able to get the play off, and that cost them 5 yards. And, you know, 4th and 7's tough enough. 4th and 12's even tougher.
We lost a couple now for the Blue Devils in the first half, and they avoided one by taking a timeout. Bill Forbes, Chevrolet scoreboard, 16-0 Monroe. 2 touchdowns on its first 2 possessions and 2 extra points. Here we go. 4th down, about 12. Need to get to the 13-yard line of the Knowles. Another flag. And it's delay a game again on the Blue Devils. Dave Caldwell cannot be happy with this.
Well, and really, Mike, that's kind of odd that you would get a second consecutive delay of game, because you should either have the play in while they're marking the penalty off or go with the same play.
Well,
but once again, 25 seconds, isn't really a long time. And, when you're using as much motion as what Beallsville is, and now you're into a 4th and 17.
And Darby's still not in the huddle. Clock is running. Of course, they don't have, play clocks here, but we have to trust the back judge. And it's going to be close again here. They better hurry. Darby under center. 4th and about 20.
And they're going to spend a timeout, Mike.
Oh, my.
And I think that is their 3rd timeout of the half. And things really are coming unglued here for Beallsville.
Wow.
Not only are they down 16-0, but now they just can't even get a playoff.
Wow. So Dave Caldwell out there again to talk to his troops. They're trailing 16-0 here in the second quarter with 8:33 to go. Yeah, back-to-back delay of games. And then they have to burn a timeout. to avoid another one. Now they might dig into their bag of tricks. Don't know if you can throw a ball 25 yards, how wet it is.
Well, they need to do something because, you know, the ball resting about the 32-yard line, and they need to get down inside about the 15-yard line. You know, 4th and 17.
You see the wind starting to blow up on the far side. Coach Sherman there with the headset on, and see a lot of the umbrellas blowing.
It really maybe, Mike, not as raining as hard as what it has been earlier, but as you say, I think the wind has started to pick up a little bit.
That'll make it even tougher to pass the ball here.
And down here right in front of us, the umbrellas are definitely having trouble with the wind.
4th and 20. Greg Darby looking left. Wants Crum one-on-one. It's a jump ball and picked off at the 8-yard line by Ishii. Ishii spins. Oh, and it's nailed from behind at the 34-yard line. So the interception was pretty much a jump ball. And they went to their big fella, Crum, but the ball was just overthrown. Crum may have given up on it.
Well, as a defensive back on that side, Mike, you know, Ishii's job is to not let a receiver get deeper than him, and he did a nice job. And then he breaks loose on the return, and Joey Crum, after slipping down, does a nice job to get back up, and actually it's Crum that makes the tackle there to save what could have been a bigger return. But, you know, 34-yard line now for Monroe Central on the game's first turnover.
Wishbone attack. Gordon right up the middle, and Matty goes low to get him at the 39-yard line.
With the way things have gone here in the early stages of the game now, after not quite a quarter and a half, Mike, it really wouldn't surprise me to see Monroe Central not attempt to pass in this game. 16-0, they have not tried one yet. Now, Michael George probably won't like to hear that, but yeah, save it for next week.
Coach Caldwell screaming at his defense. The blitzers are running by the tackler. Wind whipping up again. They fake it to the fullback, and Ishii running at tailback. He'll be close to a first down. Needed to get to the 44, and I think they're going to mark it at the 45, which means it will be a Monroe first down. First down, Knowles on consecutive runs. Gordon and then Ishii. Ishii out now, and so is Conrad as we look at it yet again.
Yeah, thus far in the game, everything had been Wilson and Gordon, and there's just a third ball carrier, 6 yards and a first down.
And now George tosses it to Wilson. 2 blockers out in front of him there. And look at Christopher Wilson. 1 man to beat. Wilson. He'll score. Touchdown. Seminoles. 55 yards for Christopher Wilson. His second touchdown of the game, and Valley leading 20 seconds. And that puts him over 1,000 yards for the year.
He was over 1,000 a couple carries back, but
right.
Now he is well over 1,000. And I think we have a flag down also here well behind the play, and I think it's going to be a personal foul on Beallsville, something occurred well behind the play. Now we'll let the officials sort that out as we see a Devil coming to the sideline, and Coach Caldwell not very happy.
So Ishii with the pick, and then a first down run on the drive, and then Wilson, 55-yard touchdown. So maybe some unsportsmanlike stuff after the play?
Yeah, that's something we'll have to wait and see. The officials are still sorting this out about the 35-yard line. We're not 100% sure yet whether that's going to be a touchdown or not, as the officials try to make the play.
I think it's a touchdown.
And there could have been some extracurriculars there, which is something, Mike, that has been very rare in this series as far as both teams and players.
Wow, maybe I'm wrong. Shoemaker not happy. And the Knowles offense coming back.
Here's the signal, Mike.
Larry Ryan with the call.
And I think that there is no touchdown, Mike. So take that 55-yard run off the board.
Wow, no one was even close to tackling him. Personal foul. It's on Beallsville. Personal foul on Monroe Central.
So now we'll see where they put the ball now. If they put it each way, the ball at the 35, or it'd be interesting to see where they mark this play.
Line of scrimmage was the 45 of Monroe.
You know, if that's during the play,
well, it had to be.
Yeah, I'm not going to guess, Mike, because usually I'd be wrong.
Well, Jaser Costa over there talking with Joe Kohler. He's not happy. No way, Jay says.
Well, obviously, he wants the touchdown to stand. Now, there was no signal as far as a touchdown or anything.
I didn't see the flag on the play, did you, until you looked back?
It was well after. So now, get an explanation here from Larry Ryan over here to Coach Caldwell. And looks like the ball's going to be on the 35-yard line.
I don't think Dave cares because it takes a touchdown off the board and a huge run by Wilson. Another call by Larry Ryan.
And somebody's been ejected also from the game, and I'm not sure which player for which team has been ejected or for both. And I tell you, if that's a Monroe Central player, Mike, that's ejected, that's going to cost somebody next week. But I do believe maybe a Beallsville player has been ejected.
The first man off the field was Greg Darby, number 58, with his helmet off and a look of disgust.
Be Eric Darby.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Eric Darby, rather, not Greg. So, where will the football be?
Looks like it's a 35-yard line, Mike. So, you're going to give Wilson credit for 20 yards, and you give Monroe Central a first down, but no touchdown.
So the penalty cost them a touchdown. So here come the Noles now. At the 35-yard line, Joris fakes the handoff. Now Wilson running with the football left side. Christopher Wilson. Oh, and he's taken down hard. And look at the wind blowing a lot of debris off of the press box and the the trees behind us here. And the wind is now whipping up crazy. Look at some of these umbrellas. Wow. Look at the trees. And there's the press box that we're in.
That reminds me of about 3 weeks ago during week 7 when everybody played in some bad weather when there was so much wind.
That was one of our game of the week. Union Local was a mess. Felt like a hurricane blowing through. Gordon stood up and then at least falls forward. Be real close to the first down. It was 2nd down and 1 there. So it is a first down. Good second effort by Gordon to get the first down.
Because he was definitely hit in the backfield, but at 190 pounds, kept the legs going, and that extra effort gets him inside the 25-yard line.
Wishbone attack again for the Noles. Here they come. Fake it to Gordon. That's Wilson, the tailback. Big hole! Christopher Wilson into the open field down to the 5-yard line. Boy, this kid is explosive with the football. Wilson had a 55-yard touchdown wiped out by personal foul and an ejection on the same play, but it might be a matter of time before he scores again. Well, look at the explosion. Right there's a cut, and he's into the open field. Brought down by Joey Crum from behind. First down goal now for the Noles. Ball on the 5-yard line. They switch back into the wishbone. Handoff, Wilson. Michael Abrig, the first man to hit him. And he is knocked down and around the line of scrimmage. Aaron Brown switched into the backfield there, and they ran the little counter handoff to Christopher Wilson.
Now, 3rd time Monroe Central's had the ball. 3rd time they've been down with an opportunity to score. And they'd like to get one more in here. We still have 5:19 left on a running clock before halftime.
And they have yet to attempt a pass. Joris, quick toss. Ishii with running room. Ishii, easy touchdown from the 5. No flags. Noles are up 3 scores.
Well, that just took a little bit longer than what you would like to see. But if you're a Monroe Central fan, but you're able to get there and overcome, the offsetting penalties that cost them the earlier score.
So Ishii takes it in, and that just shows you the versatility of this team. Only his 9th carry of the season. He had 7 coming into tonight. I think he had just the 1 before that.
Yes.
And 2nd rushing touchdown of the year for Josh Ishii. who set up the Knowles' first score with a great punt return. 1 for 2 again. Toss to Wilson. Cuts it back. Did he plow his way in?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. So, with the 2-point conversion, their third of the first half, it is 24-0 Monroe Central. And with this score so lopsided so early, Jeff Stevens, we recall back to a game you and I did here in 1998 when Monroe Central came in here and put a bagel on them, 54-0.
Well, that was one of those rare years where there was quite an imbalance of the talent levels. Beallsville was suffering a down year that year, and that was another very good team of Monroe Central's. And I recall that game. I think we ran out of material to talk about real early in that one.
24-0 now with 5 minutes to go. Trying to get confirmation here on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, 24-0. Knowles trying to get confirmation if there was a Monroe Central Seminole ejected.
Well, and if that is the case, Mike, that's going to be a problem next week because he would have to sit out a game there. So we'll see, because on that last drive, the tail end of the drive, Robbie Dimmerling was in on the offensive line for Monroe Central.
Well, we'll see on defense if TJ's back out there. We think
he's played really well in the early going.
He kicks off a lot of the times, but George is taking this one. Here is Tyler Brown. Oh, and a big stick at the 41. And here come the Blue Devils, trying to get something going. Greg Darby. And we know there will be at least one new guard in there for Beallsville.
Now, TJ Stevens is on the field, Mike,
Okay.
so I would say Coach Sircosta just opted to take him out of the game for a while to cool him down, and that's good news for the Monroe Central fans.
If you look at the Monroe sideline, they're all huddled together on one knee, and I think they're trying to get them all together and say, hey, we've got a playoff game next week, folks. Let's not get anyone thrown out of this one no matter what happens to you. Blue Devils with it now on their own 43. Darby looking. Crum complete to midfield for about 8.
Well, again, this possession set up by the second pretty decent kickoff return by Beallsville in this game.
I think 79, Chad Atkinson, is the new Blue Devil in there offensively. Up front. So second down, 2. It's 24-0 Monroe Central.
Again, some late personnel problems by Beallsville as they
Have to hurry here again.
get somebody off the field late, so they may be near another penalty.
They got it off. Handoff. Brown breaking through the first wave of tacklers, and Brown has the first down and more to the 36-yard line. Tyler Brown, the team's leading tackler and leading rusher.
Well, he has done a nice job in this game. You can see here, just using speed, running through a very nice hole opened up by his offensive line, able to get his first down. Second time tonight, Beallsville has been into Monroe Central territory. First time, a couple penalties caused them to come up empty. They're now at the 37-yard line.
Brown has the second most touchdowns in all the Ohio Valley to Wilson's 21. That was coming into tonight's action. In the gun, Darby getting more confident throwing the ball now. Little curl, got Maddie, took a big shot from Conrad at the 24, but that looks like the old Beallsville. Little hook up on a square in, and Darby put that ball there.
Well, it's something that Beallsville is going to have to do. You know, well thrown ball.
Wow,
Maddie making a nice play as he is curled in just past his first down territory, making the catch. So Beallsville, you know, even though they're down 24-0, you know, showing a lot of fight here as they're down to the 23-yard line now, you know, trying to get on the board before halftime. They have about 4 minutes left in the half.
Crum and Maddie to the left. And now Darby takes the snap, breaks one tackle, and then is tackled by 2 Knowles. Miller slipped off of him. Sammy Miller, the 6-foot junior, I think had him wrapped up, slipped right through him.
5 yards, pretty nice on a quarterback sneak, Mike. But that could be just a check off at the line that Darby has that option to do. If he reads the nose man playing one way or the other, he can just take that ball and go up there behind his offensive line. And if you get 5 yards, you know, I do it every time.
That looked like what Chris Caldwell used to do here when he was the quarterback. Darby under center, second down about 5. Gonna roll, spin all the way around and throw an ill-advised pass. Picked off. That is Gabe Gordon with one man to beat. Cuts it back. Gordon at midfield to the 49. And the ball is loose. Well after the play, I think. No, it's a fumble. A fumble ruled on Gordon. Beallsville recovers. Pardon me.
Well, maybe we can see here, the ball overthrown. Gordon up the sideline. Looked like he had some room to the outside, but he cuts it back. Spinning. Couldn't see the ball come out.
Well, when he spun, I think it was coming out.
And really hard to tell who the Blue Devil was that made that recovery. But
we ran that slow, we may have been able to see it. But
Beallsville keeps the ball, but they lost quite a bit of yardage now as they'll take over at their own 45-yard line. But Darby, it is first down.
Darby just spun all the way around and threw it without even looking. And it's Crum in motion, looking his way. Throws it. And it's picked off this time by Gordon again. This time he holds on to the ball at the 44. Little Groundhog Day action.
Which is just about where he would have been if not for the fumble in the play before. But credit Gordon with 2 interceptions. Monroe the ball.
2 interceptions for Gordon on consecutive plays. That one, just an overthrow to Crum. The first one was worse. He just spun and threw it without even looking. That one, he looked at Crum, who was in motion the whole way.
Gordon just had no stats, Mike.
Gordo with 2 picks. At the 44-yard line. Wow. 2:50 to play. Toss it to Wilson. Got Schauber and Gordon out there. Good block, Gordon. Cuts behind Schauber, and Wilson will have a first down. He just hides behind guys, Jeff. Well, all of a sudden, you see him fall forward for about 8 yards.
Well, that's one place, where his size enables him to get in behind the lineman a little bit. With that dirty uniform on tonight. I mean, his offensive linemen aren't real big by today's standards, but he does a good job getting up there. But this one's not going to count, Mike, because of a penalty.
Penalty on the Monroe Central Seminoles. Did you see it?
And probably one of those blocks you mentioned by one of the pulling guards is what drew the flag there. 10 yards right at the line of scrimmage.
A great block by Gordon and a kick out, and Schauber was cutting it inside. That's right where Wilson ran. So ball back on the 45-yard line. You see the wind wisping the raindrops around here at Beallsville. It is a brutal night. First down 20. Toss to Wilson. Gordon again, and Schauber, same thing, right side, and he cuts it up to the 48 of Beallsville. Knowles keeping it pretty simple, have yet to attempt a pass, and I'm sure they won't before half. Clicking down to 2 minutes, Jeff.
Yeah, really no need to. They've been able to move the ball well on the ground. They're over 100 yards rushing in absolutely horrible field conditions. So why try to attempt a pass here when you run the ball as well as what they have here tonight? Here's the first one.
Here it is out to Conrad, that's Conrad who dropped the ball. Is it a fumble?
No signal.
Joe Kohler with no, I think it
completion,
is.
Mike.
It's a completion in the fumble recovery. Now some whistles. Trying to figure out what we got here. Timeout Knowles.
But it is a completion, and then Conrad recovering his own fumble. Monroe's first pass attempt of the game, good for about 8 yards to Adam Conrad. And that'll bring up third down and about 5 yards to go.
Good look at some of the Devils. Tyler Brown there. Get some of the mud out of his face. On the Forbes scoreboard, 24-0 Monroe Central. 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions. Pretty simple stuff. We've had an ejection We've had some big plays on this sloppy field. We've had a lot of rain.
And a little bit of wind.
Yeah, a lot of wind. Of course, the Noles are playoff bound next week. They'll be playing in Woodsfield on Saturday night. And it's a divisional thing. Every year that rotates. Division 5 this year is playing on Saturdays. Last year was on Fridays.
Yeah, Division 3 and 5 could have quite a few OVAC teams in action on Saturday night this year.
Steubenville Central.
And fans need to keep in mind that those Saturday games start at 7 o'clock. People get used to 7:30 starts, but in Ohio, playoff games on Saturday are 7 o'clock games.
Here's the fake up the middle, and then the handoff to Ishii, running right, makes a nice move. Ishii trying to outrun the Blue Devil defenders, and he does down the right sideline. No flags. A big play by Josh Ishii, and this kid is having a great year.
He can't stay there.
We need to go back here sometime. Mike may look at the stat sheet. You know, Ishii's earlier interception, you know, he is the team leader in that category, but showing he can run the ball a little bit also, getting 20 yards on that reverse and a first down, giving Monroe Central a chance for one more score before halftime.
And Ishii was the guy that Coach Caldwell told me in the pregame meeting was, boy, he's just dangerous. We've seen his speed become a factor so far tonight.
Well, people may remember the Barnesville game highlights there that he just outran people.
Little handoff left side, Wilson with room. Wilson cuts it up. Nice defensive play on that side by Aaron Harper, the sophomore.
Now, Harper did a nice job of closing, making a good open field tackle on Wilson. He's proven to be a hard man to bring down, but nice play there by Aaron Harper, who's just a sophomore.
They're the only one in the game tonight for both teams. That hadn't been the case a lot of years here. There's always been some fantastic sophomores. And we've seen some great players on these teams through the years, Jeff Stevens, and you have too.
You know, this year's no exception. Some very good seniors on both sides of the ball. You know, Beallsville has, even though their quarterback's a junior, they have a couple, you know, excellent receivers and a fine running back there that are seniors. Monroe Central, you know, a senior group that, remember, 2 years ago, just 2-8, and boy, they turned things around and given Monroe Central fans something to remember the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, we forgot with $1.17 to go how bad it was 2 years ago because it was so darn good last year for these Noles, all the way to the state semifinals. But this year they're ranked number 1 in first in their division. Last year beaten by a very talented team in the state semifinals with the Division I running back. Here's Joris, second pass attempt of the game, fires it to a wide open Ishii. Touchdown, Noles, no flags, 19 yards.
Nice job by Joris. Looked like he was going to run the ball, but then flips the ball out there to a wide open Ishii. I think the defensive back may have kind of started to come up, but a good play right there for a touchdown.
Wow, pretty easy. 19 yards. Josh Ishii just becoming yet another weapon. He was just a key to the cog last year. Now is becoming a go-to guy with Christopher Wilson. So much attention on Conrad, the leading receiver, coming into the game. Going for 2 again.
Once again, there's that option again. There's Joris again. It looks like he's in.
Lost the ball, but he broke the plane. 4th 2-point conversion of the first half, and it's all Noles, 32-0. Get out your material, Jeff Stevens.
Yeah, really, you know, I'm a little bit surprised, you know, by this, even though I knew that, you know, Monroe Central had so many weapons, but, you know, with Beallsville just comes out, and after a couple things went wrong for them early, the wind has really been taken out of their sails, and now Monroe Central doing nothing wrong, and by my count, they've had the ball 4 times and have scored 4 times, even overcoming a penalty on 1 possession.
That Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard tonight shows Monroe Central leading 32-0 here with about 1:08 to go in the second quarter. You may see a second half of a lot of young jerseys, a lot of youngsters at Monroe Central who, you know, this is one of those things where if you get a big enough lead, you don't want to get anybody hurt.
Well, you're in a little bit of a tough situation for Monroe Central. You still have some things you want to work on, but you don't want to show a lot because playoff opponents are able to get 3 of your films, but you want to definitely stay away from any injuries, but yet, you know, the importance of working on some things that you might need next week or on down the road. So, you know, first things first, I'm sure Monroe Central is going to be very pleased to go in at halftime or at least the 108 before halftime with a 32-0 lead.
A little surprising as Joris kicks it off. Here's Brownie from, about the 13, up the middle. Oh, big hit, and I bet you that's Wilson. Gordon. A little bit bigger than Wilson. There's my man Gordo, a cornerback. You don't see many fullbacks as your corner on defense.
Well,
Prototypical fullback inside linebacker, and he very well could be an inside linebacker.
Well, I think with the aggressiveness that he has and the size that he has, but you're exactly right. Not very many teams have a fullback playing a cover corner in their secondary, but just shows how good an athlete Gabe Gordon is. And remember, he's also a very good track performer for Monroe Central's track team in the spring.
Beallsville has a minute left on their own 30-yard line. Split backs behind Darby. Fakes to the first guy. Second guy is Brown spinning. Turned in nicely by Sam Miller. Spins for a couple yards. Call it 2nd down and 8. Well, Brown is getting the majority of the carries. Jaser Costa was worried about him breaking out with some big ones.
Well, he showed a couple of near big gains, a nice kickoff return, and had one real big carry, but for the most part, he's been held pretty well in check by Monroe Central's defense. And you mentioned earlier, and we talked about that at the early stages, where Monroe Central felt like if their front 5 and the linebackers and their front 7 could do a good job containing the run, that they'd be in good shape.
Handed off to Brown again. Boy, Tyler Brown is doing a nice job getting through Monroe Central's defensive line.
But we're down inside 6 seconds now, clock running, Mike, so that's going to be the end of the half, as Coach Caldwell just did not want to risk another turnover here before the half.
Well, the Blue Devils have had a player thrown out of the game, and they're down 32-0. Monroe Central looking rather impressive here at halftime in Beallsville. This backyard brawl between the Noles and Devils is all Noles on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. 32-0. Halftime festivities coming up. Stay with us. You're watching the high school football game of the week.
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best. A good insurance company works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family. F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency represents several companies, so you benefit from personally designed coverage. Talk to one of their agents today about life insurance and annuities. As they continue to look out for your future, F.W. Shoemaker will celebrate 100 years of service in 2003. The Seminoles and F.W. Shoemaker Insurance, 2 winning traditions. The weather will soon be turning cooler, but you still have time to take advantage of True Value's Weather All House Paint, now on sale at Woodsfield True Value. You'll find everything you need to finish those nice weather projects on sale now, including easy care paints and accessories. And remember, you have over 1,000 colors to choose from. Lots of other fall specials for indoors and outdoors are waiting for you now at Woodsfield True Value Home Center, where health is just around the corner. Elaine Ann's Cleaning Service provides full service from business to residential. We not only clean your carpets, but we also clean your upholstery. We offer pet odor removal, spot removal, and stain-resistant carpet protection. If you want the job done right the first time, promptly, and at reasonable prices, call Elaine Ann's Cleaning Service at 934-2240. We clean your carpet, not your wallet. McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell strongly believe in supporting our kids, both in school and in extracurricular activities. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. They're happy to support our players, our cheerleaders, and our band. After the game, Celebrate at McDonald's of Woodsfield, where we love to make you smile.
Hey, welcome back to Beallsville. Halftime on a soggy night. 32-0 the Knowles, and the Monroe Central Marching Band is here for your halftime entertainment.
I thought that was good. Right. Ain't working it. Ain't very well. I'll try that. Back the lake.
For your convenience and peace of mind, AmeriDrive by Stark offers teen driver education in 7 locations, including Woodsfield. 3 weeks of classroom study is held on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. State licensed and certified by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, AmeriDrive has been teaching teens and adults to drive for 20 years. 8 hours of one-on-one behind-the-wheel instruction is scheduled at your convenience. Call AmeriDrive by Stark at 1-800-YOU-DRIVE-2. Let Swiss Lands Realty in Woodsfield help you find what you're looking for in farms, homes, or land. Call Kathy or Sam to see this ranch house on a beautiful 2-acre lot near Louisville. If building a home is in your future, ask about their many land-only properties. Just south of Woodsfield, see this 2-story home featuring new siding, windows, and roof. This 28-acre property also has a pond and 2 outbuildings. Click on www.swisslands.com for more listings. If you're buying or selling, call 472-0614. Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
Go Noles!
Woodsfield Marathon sells pure gasoline, diesel fuel, and kerosene, and they're pure Seminole fans. Join these Marathon fans in their dining room for breakfast, lunch, supper, or snacks. Friday nights enjoy their new rotisserie chicken and ribs, plus steak and fish. The Hoffs invite you to follow the Seminoles throughout the football season. And follow the Noles to the marathon, because they know
Chris has the best food in town.
At Respects Food Mart, we're proud of all we do. From our humble beginnings in 1926, we've grown to 6 stores throughout the Ohio Valley. We strive to combine that small-town friendliness with the buying power of the chain store to give you, our friends and customers, the best of both worlds. And we take pride in our community, its people, and their accomplishments. We're happy to support all of our county schools. We're proud of all we do at Respects. And Seminoles, we're proud of you.
Hey, welcome back to Beallsville, Ohio for our game of the week between Beallsville and Monroe Central. It's been all Seminoles, 32-0. Monroe Central leads at halftime. Mike Anthony, Jeff Stevens, well, it's been raining since about 45 minutes prior to the game. It hasn't let up. The wind has been blowing. It's just a brutal night for football, to say the least, but Monroe Central is getting through it on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. You see the score there at the half. Halfway to go, and the Noles are thinking halfway to keep everybody healthy for next week's playoff game, Saturday night at home at 7 o'clock in Woodsfield. Here come the Blue Devils back out. A lot of pride will be on the line here in the second half. As you see the rain, they don't want to get shut out, number one. Number two, they just don't want to get embarrassed on their home turf.
But during the course of this year, against the better teams on Beallsville's schedule, they've given up a lot of points. But, you know, as you said, pride tonight because of that. One, you don't want to get shut out, and you just want to play hard, you know, because you have a senior group. This is their last 24 minutes of football. You know, Monroe Central, you know, has hopefully for them very many more minutes of football to play during the remainder of the year. But as you said, you know, they want to get through this second half healthy, but still work on some things that they may need next week and hopefully farther down the road.
Blue Devils shut out in this game last year and are being blanked at the midway point again this year. The Noles with those 5 shutouts this season, that is unbelievable, and only one team has scored in double digits against them. They've only given up 33 points this season, and they're averaging over 33 a game offensively. Mind-boggling numbers.
Well, and really, their first defense is only responsible for a couple of those touchdowns. One a kickoff return, one against the JVs, and another after a turnover that Barnesville only had to go 1 yard to score. But the defense has been solid every time out. And now with Monroe scoring 4 out of 4 possessions. They get the ball to start the third quarter because they deferred.
Yep.
Now, normally you might think onside kick by Beallsville.
Maybe not tonight.
Monroe with an extra player up front, but in this condition, but still at 32-0. What does Dave Caldwell have to lose to try that? For Darby to try to kick it and get out covered, but you're not sure how far that ball is going to roll, in this mud.
And I think it's raining harder now. The rain has just picked up. It may send some of these fans home a little early. Knowles creeping up on the line. They kick it deep. Ishii going to have to run after it. Squirts past him inside the 5. He's got to pick that thing up at the 1. Ishii has it. Good contained by the Blue Devils. A lot of blue shirts surrounding them, and the Knowles are pinned down deep in their own end. It'll be inside the 10 for Monroe Central. Maybe the Blue Devils can do something defensively to spark them here and make it a field position game in the third quarter.
Well, I think what Ishii was hoping for was that ball would go onto the end zone because it was a line drive. But again, muddy field, wet turf, it rolled about the 1 yard line. That's a live ball. He had to pick it up and able to get out only to about the 10-yard line, maybe not even quite the 10. So not very good field position for Monroe Central. Definitely their poorest, and this their 5th possession of the game.
They've scored on all 4 possessions in the first half, and they hand it up with Gordon up the middle. Abrick there to stand him up, and that was a good collision between those two Warriors. Coach Caldwell donning the multicolored umbrella for the second half. There it is.
Definitely not a sight that you see every day of the week on the sideline of the football game.
Look at Coach.
But maybe a smart move by Coach Caldwell.
It is raining. Joris fakes the dive and now gives it to Wilson. Wilson with big running room, nearly broke that. Gets to the 24-yard line. He had one more man to make that a 90-yard sprint. Well, you can just see Monroe Central's speed. It's been very evident with Ishii, Gordon, and Wilson.
And that's been a strength the last 2 years, but especially this year, not only of their defense, but also on the line, where they, night in, night out, are smaller than their opposition, but quickness to get to the block and deceiving quickness by both Wilson and Gordon to get through those holes.
They line up in the eye. Beallsville shifting people around defensively. Give it to Gordon, straight ahead on first down, and Gordon plows across the line of scrimmage for about 2 yards. Second down, 8 upcoming. Wilson back in. O'Hara made the tackle for the Blue. Kenny Robinson in the game now, lining up wide, top of your screen. Eye set, Gordon, Wilson. Fake it to Gordon. Here's Wilson. Here's Wilson. The ball carrier takes a big hit at the 34-yard line.
A pretty big hit there as he was able to get downfield. About 7-yard pickup, third down, less than a yard.
And I'm not sure, number 77, maybe Steve Skinner. He may have been wearing 42 earlier in this game, and he's back to his number 77. Brownie in motion, and Joris has it on 3rd and short, and he'll get the first down. So good to have a 6'2" quarterback that weighs nearly 200 pounds. At 215, actually. He's a big boy. And Joris, a very smart quarterback.
And keeping things very simple here in the third quarter, just running the standard package of running attack. Joris, his first rush of the game on the sneak, even though he's had a couple of rushes for 2-point conversions.
On first down, toss sweep right side. And he gets a couple yards, making the play for the Blue Devils is Rodney Reed, number 22.
Coming from that linebacker position, he closed very quickly, getting Wilson for one of his shorter gains in this game.
I think the Knowles have attempted 2 passes, or is that 3?
I have them attempting 2 passes.
One's a touchdown to Ishii.
Both completions.
The other a completed pass. And can't recall who that was. To Conrad?
Yes, one to Conrad, one to Ishii for a touchdown.
Yep. Kenny Robinson, near side. Big body, over 6-footer. Here's a sub-6-footer, but one of the toughest kids in the valley, Wilson, running with the football. And Wilson having a great year. Also a great wrestler for Monroe Central. What is he, about 155?
Listed at 160, but making the state wrestling tournament, and that's quite an accomplishment in Ohio. OVAC champion last year. And I think at his size, that helps him a great deal, especially defensively. The techniques of wrestling and the techniques of that linebacker, very, very similar.
Nice kid to boot. 3rd down 5. Knowles looking to try to convert. Wilson running with the football, and he is yanked down by a host of Blue Devils short of the 1st down. And the Knowles will be forced to punt. Something they haven't done, or will they? See some fresh jerseys going out. Gordon, Shoemaker both going out.
This will be the first Monroe Central punt of the game. And nice job, as you can see on that replay, by Beallsville's defense. They've not given up. They're going to play it hard the rest of the game.
Taking down hard.
Joris will punt.
TJ Stevens late to get off. Flags fly pre-snap. Illegal substitution.
That's something that if you've watched a lot of high school football this year, you see quite a bit. That's an area of emphasis this year. The 12 men in the huddle when you break that huddle, and that is a penalty. Just a second flag by my count for Monroe Central in this game.
That Devil, not much to cheer about tonight on a soggy night on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. 32-0. Well, 4th and 9 now as Joris will punt it away. Good punter, too, is Joris. Brown is back deep. Nice bounce. It'll be killed at the 22. So,
real nice kick.
A good kick by Joris is just plain and simple. 2 steps, get it out of there. Great athlete.
Yeah, only about 35 yards, but very effective. You can high school ball, you get in that 35-yard range with no return. I think any coach will take that anytime.
The Knowles, of course, have a lot of football left ahead of them, but I have a feeling this is going to be a heck of a basketball game between these two schools.
Well, both teams having some people returning from last year,
right?
And that, but I think right now in this kind of conditions and what's upcoming from Monroe Central, not too many people thinking about basketball yet.
Of course not. That's just the official coming out at me, Jeff.
You're probably a little anxious.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Here's Darby and the Devils. Quarterback sneak, busts out of there. Brown makes the tackle across the 30. Darby saw it and just took it. Just took it and ran forward.
Well, your quarterback's 5'11", 190. That's something that, it's really not a surprise that they'll do. He sees an opening there, and that's just all athleticism on his own, and that's 9 yards. And, you don't see that every day of the week, getting 9 yards on a sneak.
Now Crum split near side with Tyler Brown. Now Crum running away. They go to the other side. Flip-flop it ends. Look at this. A lot of personnel movement for the Devils. 2nd and 1. Back is Darby, looking near side, no receiver. Crum is open now, but down goes the man, but there's a penalty flag. They'll get Wilson for pass interference. Shoemaker made the sack. But I think Wilson will be whistled for pass interference.
That would be the first sack of the game for Monroe Central's defense if that holds. But again, the officials will get together and talk about it. You really can't have pass interference on the defense since the ball was never thrown, but possibly could have defensive holding.
Right. Larry Ryan there. Chris Schubert, Joe Kohler there. Mr. Timko there as well. They're sorting it out. Defensive holding. So defensive holding, and it'll be really short now for a first down for the Blue Devils.
And they'll go back to the spot of the sack and mark that penalty off.
Second down and about 1 for Greg Darby and the boys.
The play was already marked off from the end of the play. Second down.
So second down over. So what the penalty of 10 yards was about what the loss of 10 yards was. So you're back to about the same area that you were on the previous snap.
Split backs. Darby looking right, little slip past the crumb, bobbled it. Now it's just a matter if it was incomplete,
No
in front of the
signal.
line of scrimmage, or a fumble behind the line of scrimmage.
I think they're saying lateral, Dave.
He had to have.
Now they're going to bring it back to the line of scrimmage. We didn't
That was a forward pass.
see the signal initially there, but it looked like it had to be forward, and that was the call. So bring it back to the 30-yard line. Third down and about 2.
32-0 Monroe Central here in Beallsville. Mike Anthony and Jeff Stevens here. 5:18 to play, third quarter. There's a look at the good Monroe Central defense. TJ Stevens, 51, and Tyler Shoemaker inside. Doesn't get much better than those two up front. And the Blue wants to talk about it.
As we saw that several times in the first half, and here again in the second half, Beallsville forced to use that timeout.
On the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard, 32-0 Knowles. With the break in the action, we'll take a timeout and come back to Beallsville with more third quarter action. You're watching the high school football game of the week on WTRF 7 Sports. Look at that mud here back in Beallsville. That's on the Blue Devils sideline where it is muddy. Field is held up rather nicely, and I think it has stopped raining, or at least as hard as it was.
But obviously from that shot, Mike, it's already done the damage.
Been raining for about 2.5 hours straight here. Some of the Devils move early. Couple of flags fly pre-snap. It'll be on Beallsville. Procedure penalty. Larry Ryan getting a workout in this one.
And a lot of movement by everybody along the front line of Beallsville, but the ball wasn't snapped yet, so that was a pretty easy call. And that's the fourth Beallsville penalty, and I believe the other 3 were all delay of the game penalties.
Nothing gets past Jeff Stevens, folks. Third down, about 7 now. Need to get it across the 30-yard line. Look at this formation.
This is real unbalanced.
Left, Tyler Brown, the ball carrier. Gets away from one tackler, and Ishii comes up and makes a good tackle around the ankles.
The Beallsville always will run an unbalanced line with an extra lineman on one side or the other. That time they used a tight end and had a lot of people to the left side and just ran in behind. Brown able to get to about the 30-yard line. About a 5-yard pickup. That's going to leave him just a little short of his first down.
Tyler Shoemaker, the nose tackle. We see Zwick in the game now for the Knowles. Getting some fresh bodies in there.
And Beallsville, even though they're on their own 30, will go for it on fourth down.
Wow.
Or at least they may try to draw the Knowles offside.
Fourth and 2. Darby, quick kick it back to Tyler Brown, and the Knowles will just let it go. Pretty good kick to the 36-yard line.
Worth the gamble there, Mike, to see if you could get a Monroe Central player to jump in there, but the Knowles doing a real nice job of holding the position defensively and pitch it back to Brown, and he's able to get a kick off and then not really have to worry about the return. That's a line drive that really probably would have been big yardage if we'd been on a dry field.
So here comes Monroe Central. Closer to their first undefeated season since '95. stat I uncovered a while back when we gave Monroe our Team of the Week, when they were 8-0 2 weeks ago. That's the 5th time in the last 10 years they were 8-0 at one point. And Wilson looking for more. Christopher Wilson with huge room. Christopher Wilson's gone. 64-yard touchdown.
And no flags on this one, Mike. He had the long run in the first half that the penalties brought back, but that's a big run for the touchdown.
His second touchdown of the game. And 22nd overall.
Christopher Wilson carries the ball in for the touchdown. We have another vehicle that needs to move. It's parked over beside the portable building behind the high school.
Look at it again. There's Wilson. Look at the speed.
He was just not going to be brought down as he was able to break a couple tackles right near the line of scrimmage.
Touchdown Knowles, 64 yards.
Once again, Monroe Central will line up and look at the two-point conversion.
Joris, now they snap it to Wilson. The direct snap to the tailback, and he did not get in. Short of the goal line, the only thing the Knowles have done wrong tonight. So it's 38-0 Monroe Central.
And just another little thing to put on the films that you'll trade on Sunday with your playoff opposition now, just to give them one more thing to look for and to prepare for, a direct snap to the running back.
Saw a good shot of Coach Sherman there, along with the legendary Jaser Costa.
And I'll tell you what will happen now as this game gets ready to move into the fourth quarter here soon, Mike.
Look at that mud.
Makes you appreciate the dryness here in the press box.
Now that's some good up-close stuff. There's Coach Shoemaker, Greg Shoemaker.
But when it comes time that Coach Costa gets ready to put his JV team in, you can look for him to do that offensively and keep his first defense mainly on the field until he's sure that Beallsville replaces their starting quarterback and starting receivers. You really don't want to see the other team get a long touchdown play against the JVs and spoil that shutout.
There's Darby.
And I'm sure he'll be throwing it a few times here in the remainder of this game.
And I like Monroe Central's kickoff team because they have some of their starter stars in there too, like Gordon, Joris, Gordon, Ishii, some linemen, Brownie over there, Aaron Brown, his older brother, one of the graduates from last year, one of the 3, down to the 20. That's Harper, the youngster. This kid's going to be a player across the 30-yard line.
And one of those coverage people who's not a starter offensive or defensive, there, number 70, Robbie Demmerling, down on that special teams coverage.
We've heard that name here from the Woodsfield Monroe Central days.
Yes, he's had some brothers that have suited up for Coach Costa over the years.
First team O still in there for the Blue. Under 4 to play, third quarter. Number 1, D, still in there for the Knowles. Darby looking right. Throws the out. Got Matty. Bobble it. Incomplete. Off of his chest. Incomplete. Coverage over there by Wilson. Oh, Ishii covering.
I think he may have had the opportunity to make that catch on the rebound, but a big hit delivered there by Monroe Central. And I think the cheer that you heard from across the field was in response to the players going into a very big mud hole on the far side.
All Beallsville students going to the blitzing for Channel 7 are the feet under the canopy at the end of the third quarter.
Okay.
All Beallsville students who are going to the blitz are to be underneath the canopy at the end of the third quarter.
Here comes Darby in the Blue. Had one pretty good drive tonight. Other than that, not much. Little slip screen. Brown. Oh, nice play. That's Wilson, right? Wilson shed the block of Reed and made a nice play.
Now, was there any doubt going back into the middle of the field who the tackler was?
Just couldn't tell if it was Gordon or Wilson. Those two are everywhere. Nate Schauber there as well from his tackle position, dropping back and helping out. think some of the Beallsville fans have headed home already. 3rd down, 8. Crum in motion. Darby looking that way. Finds Crum. Wilson. Oh, and he does not let go. Boy, Wilson just using some of those wrestling skills, and he hung on for dear life at the 39. Short of the first down. 4th down, about 2. And it's quickly becoming the muddiest part of the field. And this field was in great shape earlier in the day. Delmas Moore and the folks here at Beallsville have done a nice job in getting it ready for tonight's game. And it was beautiful before all the rain.
At this time of year, and especially the fact the last few weeks the field's been very wet. A lot of places the teams have played. Beallsville was fortunate enough to be on the road the last couple of weeks, but this field was in good shape before the game, and has held up, fairly decent. And they're going to measure, looks like, here. I think maybe Beallsville may have asked for a measurement because it appeared to be short, but I think maybe Coach Caldwell just wants to know how far he needs. And he's quite a distance short, almost a full yard.
So, it'll be 4th down.
4th and 1 for the Blue Devils.
We can tell here, I think we tell here, Mike, the fact that the rain has subsided quite a bit as Coach Caldwell has put the umbrella down that he came out with to start this 3rd quarter.
Of course, we will know maybe by Saturday night who the Noles will be playing next Saturday in Woodsfield. Darby, quick toss. Brown going to punt it again. Nearly blocked. And it'll bounce inside the 30.
And this Monroe Central win tonight also is great news for Belair St. John's as they go into their Saturday afternoon game against Lindsley. St. John's win could give them an opportunity to get into the postseason. They've had a couple big wins this year.
Oh, that's to say the least. Over Toronto and Wheeling Central. Wow. But as you see the wind whipping up here in Beallsville yet again, it's been like that for the last 3 hours. Good discipline by Monroe Central to not jump offside on those 4th and 1s, and you got to love that as a coach going to a big postseason game next Saturday, just knowing that you're not going to take some stupid penalties. Here's Wilson running with the football, working on a 200-yard night, and Wilson will get near another 1st down. How many do you have Wilson for already?
That's going to put him very close, between about 185 to 190. And I have that for his 20th carry. 187.
In 2 passes tonight, Joris has got a great completion rate going, 2 of 2. And 1's a touchdown pass. Now, they're in the eye, double tight. And Wilson, he'll get a workout tonight. Cuts it back, and look at Wilson, just continues to work. Abrick made a nice play. And Skinner is back in there wearing 77 for Beallsville. It's a switcheroo at halftime. Crummy coming out for Beallsville.
Well, last year in the postseason, we saw Chris Wilson get behind that offensive line and have a couple of his best games. One game I remember is the game against Crooksville over at Meadowbrook High School. But this also, is definitely Wilson's best offensive game rushing of the year, and he'll be the first to give credit to that offensive line.
Gordon. I think Wilson had a 4-touchdown game earlier in the year. We gave him our athlete of the week for that.
He's had some nice games, and a couple touchdowns tonight. Puts him at, I believe, 22 for the year. But he's had some help, and his offensive line has really opened some holes as this game has went. If it was a warm night, you'd think this is just a case of wearing the opposition down, but possibly with these temperatures, and that's still the case. It's just the offensive line just really starting to take a toll on that defensive front of Beallsville.
3rd and 5 now, Jeff. Toss to Wilson. Wilson running hard for the 1st down into Blue Devil territory. Brought down by number 5, Aaron Harper. 1st down Monroe, and that'll be real close to 200. And what a run by Wilson. I know he is tough.
Well, what throws me off a little bit on the yardage, Mike, would be that penalty early in there where he went 55 for a touchdown, but then the penalty cost him some yardage. But that's going to be very, very close two 200 yards for Chris Wilson as we have reached the end of period number 3.
Fourth quarter coming up in Beallsville. It's been all Seminoles. 38-0 Monroe Central after 3 on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. We're back after this. Don't go away.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, we're back here in Beallsville. Cheerleaders having a good night. It's Friday night. It's the final regular season game. Hard to believe. Ohio done. A lot of teams will be wrapping up and turning equipment in next week. It's 38-0 Monroe Central. Going to knock Beallsville out of the playoffs, and the Noles will play at home next Saturday. Aaron Brown, the ball carrier. Let's see who the Noles have in there. Gordon is still in. I'm sure Wilson is out of the game. Conrad coming back in. Dan Miller. Noles celebrating on the far side.
Watch that way! Watch that way! Watch that way!
Aaron Brown, the tailback, with Ishii, the wing. Gordon, the fullback. Ishii in motion. Joris, toss. Brownie. Student body right. Be close to a first down, about a yard short, so it'll be 3rd and 1, and won't be much longer before those guys get out of there.
You also ready some work for next year, giving Aaron Brown an opportunity to run some plays at tailback. And there's,
he'll be the man.
A couple carries there for a total of 9 yards.
So Wilson probably just short of 200 for the night.
And my count is truly unofficial, so he very well could be over 200. I've got him for just 198, and that could be give or take 10 or 15.
Well, let's just say a 200-yard night. Toss it. This is Gordon. Oh, look at the great block that he got from Aaron Brown and Ishii, but he was brought down from behind by Tyler Brown. Don't turn your back on the Noles. They're 10-0. Monroe Central will wrap up another undefeated season. First one since 95. Of course, they had several undefeated seasons. 91, 93, 95. And they're just...
You've got the numbers. I think this is number 6.
Yeah,
as far as undefeated seasons for Jay Circosta.
They're just phenomenally coached, and they have some great athletes. Here's a punt, and it's fumbled by Brown at the 15. Still loose. Recovered by Beallsville. That may be the end of the night for all the regulars. Let's see. A lot of white jerseys for the Noles coming out.
As I mentioned before, Mike, I think as long as Darby, Crum, and Maddie and Brown, those young men stay on the field for Beallsville, you're going to see pretty much a first-team defense for Monroe Central.
Yeah, Tyler Shoemaker still in there. T.J. Stevens, the Millers, Ishii, Conrad, Wilson back in on D. Darby to throw, the out route, floater, and it's incomplete.
This wind, it has been gusty tonight. May be as much of a problem as the wet football now as we're in the final quarter.
Watch this thing
just
just
always kind of takes off.
Just hangs, too. Brownie on the coverage.
It started out very, very high, but then, maybe the wind knocked it down because all of a sudden I was about to say it was going to be overthrown, but then Matty almost was able to make the play.
Let's go, guys. Look it up.
Well, Maddie and Crum near side. Darby. In route, Crum, got it. Man falls down, Conrad Ishii brings him down inside the 40-yard line, around the 37-yard line. Easily Beallsville's biggest play of the game.
All the way down the road, Beallsville, 35-yard line.
About 49 yards, and that's a play that Beallsville has used a lot this year. And for the most part, that's the first time they've been able to pick up on that type of play thus far this game.
Conrad fell down, and that made it a lot easier to get a lot of yards on that play. Under 10 minutes to play in the game now. 38-0. Monroe Central blasting its cross-county rival. Darby puts it in the belly of Tyler Brown, and Nate Schaber from the backside makes the play. And Wilson there as well.
You know how much Beallsville would like to get one score on the board so as not to get shut out for the second year in a row. And that's why you see the seniors still out there for Beallsville, and their receivers and their running back Brown.
Well, I'd like to see it if they did score, it'd be Brown to wrap up a great senior year with 19 touchdowns and to be second in the valley of anybody. Second to Wilson. That may sting down the road, but
still 18, 19 touchdowns is a pretty impressive season in 10 games.
And here is Darby with pressure, looking, firing, caught. Crum again. Defending on the play is Derek Zwick to the 20-yard line.
There's the whistle on the call for Monroe Central, first down yardage. Ball
And Joey Crum starting to rack up some receptions. That's his 5th catch. He came in with 50 catches.
Yeah.
So now at 55 in 10 games, and that's a pretty impressive number for a high school player.
Sure is. 8 minutes to play now. 38-0. Devils looking to try to make the game of this, or at least get on the board. Darby looking across the middle. Oh, nearly picked off by a linebacker.
And then caught.
Shoemaker dropped back from his nose guard position. And then it was caught? I didn't see that. Crum caught it.
It was deflected and went right there, and Crum able to make the play. Maybe we can get a better look at it here on the replay. Darby just stuck the ball in there, and that was tipped.
Oh, Shoemaker had a pick, and that may have been his first interception ever. Or did he have a tip ball last year? I think he did on a tip ball. I can't remember. In the shotgun now. Look at the Blue Devils have it all spread out. Crum across the middle. Incomplete. Oh, a late flag.
The ball intended for Reed, and the ball was just off the fingertips, and I think they're going to get the defender, and that may have been Wilson for having his arms wrapped around
I think
Wilson
had him wrapped up as the ball was on its way. It'll be hard to see it.
The question there, whether there was some contact before it really came in to the picture there, because it looked like the ball was off his fingertips, but there may have been something there before we had a real good look at it.
So the Devils with the chance to score on the Knowles first team defense. First down on the 7. Spreading them out again. Crum in the slot. Left. Oh, Darby fumbles the snap. Gets it. Collects himself. He's got time and room. Darby! Oh, he took a shot inside the 5. Near disaster for the Blue Devils. This is probably their one and only opportunity to score tonight.
They haven't had a lot of chances, and Darby really having a hard time there, and that just threw the timing of the pass patterns off, but he's able to turn what could have been a disaster into some positive yardage.
Schaber and Shue there defensively. Second down goal. Ball on the 3 now. Got more yards than I thought on that. Darby. Oh, he lost the snap! And he's down. He lost it again. He's anxious, that's for sure.
That may be
hard to hold on to the football.
That may be about the fourth time tonight. I think the Beallsville has put the ball on the ground. They've been able to get all four of them back. Lose a couple of yards on that play back to the 5.
Third down goal from the 5 for Beallsville. And they punch it in on the first team defense of Monroe Central. Not many teams have done that this year. And in fact, only 3 teams have. 4 teams. Darby, little lob. Crum did not come back and make the catch. Ball was thrown inside, and Ishii defending on the play. Look at the size differential between Ishii and Crummy there.
Yeah, that's a nice play or a nice call offensively when you're down that close. Throw it up there, let your 6'4" receiver go up. You're really not able to get as much height maybe as they wanted on the ball. But Ishii, I think, had pretty good position and he's able to take Crum out of his pattern.
Well, he stayed inside shoulder. That ball's thrown outside, gives Crummy more of a chance to go up and get that. There's Dave Caldwell. Well, 4th down and goal from the 5. One more play.
Yeah, last opportunity here probably for Beallsville in this game. It's just about 5:40 left in the game.
See what they run. Crum in the slot right. Watch for him. Toss it. Brown. He's going to throw it into the end zone. Knocked away. Deflected. And the Noles were looking for it. You knew they were going to try something. And that first team defense is not to be denied.
It looks like
the Noles take over.
Looks like Beallsville comes up. They thought they made the play in the corner of the end zone. And here's another look at it. Now the ball hit the ground. And Matty, or Crum, trying to make the signal like he had it, but it looked like the ball did hit the ground there. And I'm not sure who made the defensive play
Adam
there.
Conrad.
But, real nice play.
So the Noles keep him out of the end zone. And what was a nice drive, and here it is again. You'll see the ball hit the ground. Crummy sold it well, though. Conrad defending. It was there to catch. And as good as Crum is, I think he should have caught that ball. So 5.5 to play now. Get the Noles clearing him out.
And things were moving along pretty quick, Mike, and we've kind of bogged down a little bit here with some extra passing that Beallsville has done.
Well, we do not know who the Noles will play next week. It'll be a home game Saturday night. 7 o'clock in Woodsfield.
It'd be interesting to see how the pairings come out on Sunday as far as some other local teams. Possibility that the OVAC could have 4 teams in Region 19 of Division 5, and that would be quite an accomplishment for this area.
Got to thank Bill Forwards once again for sponsoring our scoreboard tonight. 38-0 over Beallsville. The Noles. So we're very pleased to have Jim Forbes back with us at WTRF as our 5, 6, and 11 o'clock anchor. Forbesy, a big Marshall fan. He says, Leftwich for the Heisman. Hey,
that may not be a bad thought.
Might not be a bad thought.
Really, no one has stepped up in all of college football this year and had a spectacular year. Probably Leftwich has been as solid as anyone.
He'll be the number 1 pick in the draft, probably. So, in the shadow of their own goalpost, the Noles going to run it out of there. And they're going to finish this game throwing just 2 passes.
And that's Joris again on a sneak. Something we have seen Darby of Beallsville do for some positive yardage. And Joris is able to get out past the 10. He's going to get 5, maybe 6 yards on a quarterback sneak of his own.
He's so big, he just falls forward and gets 3. 6'2", 215 at quarterback. One of the biggest Noles on the team, and he's your quarterback.
And he uses that size well. He delivers a nice ball and is able to run the ball on occasion, too. We've not seen a lot of that tonight, but a couple 2-point conversions.
Here it is again. Noles still have their big dogs in there. That's Wilson, the ball carrier. Or no, that was Brown. Well, it looked a lot like Wilson. Gordon's in there, and Wilson's out.
I think it's the case. You really need to be careful. You've done a lot of damage with Wilson. You don't want to jeopardize your offense as far as next week. You don't want something to happen with 4.5 minutes left in a game that you're ahead by 38-0. Give someone else carry. We've seen Brown. Maybe some Ishii. Maybe some Gordon here before we finish this game.
Split backs now behind Joris. He hands it off. That's Gordon. Look at them slip tackles. Run right into Darby and get it out to the 29-yard line.
Greg Darby on this call.
Down to 4:11 to play now. Fourth quarter. Monroe Central going to win its second straight over Beallsville.
Yeah,
And
Monroe
6
Central,
out of 9 in the series since the consolidation.
yeah, the Sentinels are going to be real close to 300 yards in the game, and the way it was raining at 7:30, I'm not sure I would have thought that possible.
Not even the rain could slow down Monroe Central tonight. Joris keeps it for a 4 or 3 on first down.
George tries up the middle again. Short gain on the play.
Clock just running. Couldn't end soon enough. Monroe Central ready to party an undefeated season, while a lot of the Blue Devil fans have gone home.
And maybe a few Monroe Central fans also, but there's plenty here for them to celebrate this victory. You know, 10-0 is quite an accomplishment for a team that these seniors were 2-8 just 2 years ago.
Ball loose, and Beallsville's got it on a short field at the 31. Maybe they'll have another opportunity to score. And Brown comes up with the fumble recovery.
Jonathan Kenny, I believe, got fumbled for Blue Devils. First and 10, Beallsville. Monroe Central.
That would give Beallsville one more chance to go for that end zone. 3 minutes, 11 seconds left in the game. We still see those first line people still in the game.
Starters are still in, baby.
Yeah, Crum and Matty at the wide receivers, Brown, Darby, along with that starting offensive line. Now, again, they're going to stay out there. They would like to get 6 points before the end of this game.
Crum in the slot. Look out for him. Running a post. And it is caught for a touchdown. It went right to him. 32 yards. And Conrad slipped and fell again. Opening up the middle. Touchdown. Well, the turnover, and they turn it into points.
And they do it in one play.
Well, there goes the shutout. Their first score against the Knowles since 2 years ago, when they beat them here.
That was a game where Beallsville was going to go into the postseason. Monroe Central was struggling. Monroe Central jumped out to a 9-0 lead in that game before Beallsville was able to settle things down. I think 21-9 was the score of that game. And Darby will try the extra point out of the placement, to hold by Brown.
Darby got it. So they're on the board, 38-7. The Knowles will not shut out their 6th opponent of the year, and that was going to be a huge stat if they had done that. I'd like to see some stats through the history of the OVAC, how many shutouts the team has had.
Well, a lot of times, too, in playoff games have become defensive-type games. We saw Monroe Central's defense step up last year and shut out 2 opponents in the playoffs, and I believe limit a 3rd opponent to only a field goal. So they went through those first 3 games not giving up any touchdowns until they ran into that juggernaut from Bedford Chanel.
I mean, they're going to finish 10-0, Jeff, and shut out half their schedule. And almost 6 of the 10.
And that's quite an accomplishment. And, you know, these teams take a lot of pride in being able to play defense.
3 minutes to go. Maybe that'll bring in some of the fresher shirts. Darby will kick off. A lot of the same Knowles coming out. They're playing to the end. Schauber out there. The Millers, Gordon, Wilson coming back out.
Yeah, still, Mike, I think on a muddy turf, you know, it might not be fair to some of the young kids to put them out there in the mud, you know, where another turnover might happen until they're sure that Beallsville is also going to subs. But, you know, I mean, it is very, very bad conditions, but, you know those younger kids are really anxious to get onto the field.
And still a mist blowing out there, so this is... Oh, here comes the onside kick we've been waiting on. Did not go 10 yards. TJ Stevens smacking people. Did not go 10 yards yet.
And they'll put it down just shy of the 50, and the wet field just did not allow that ball to roll.
Dave Caldwell out there saying, kick it. And I think we were caught off guard. And you believe that?
And here comes some white shirts. There's a look at the kick, and that ball just wouldn't roll.
Great stuff. Oh, and Stevens laid a big hit on Rodney Reed.
Yeah, Reed was waiting for the ball to roll the rest of the way. And as Coach Acosta now has put in some players, Coach Dave Caldwell also will put in some JV players on his group also and let these young men get some time on the field for the last 3 minutes of this game.
New quarterback for the Noles is Justin Hogue. I can't read my own writing. And they hand it off to John Newhart. And Newhart is a good-looking young back that Dave Caldwell mentioned in our pregame talk. He's only a sophomore, 5'9", $150. And you said the Noles JV team only lost one game this year.
Yeah, they had a real nice year, losing only to Shadyside early in the year. So a lot of freshmen. I think Coach Acosta has about 45, 46 players on the roster, which is real big numbers for Monroe Central football.
So the Noles will finish undefeated. 38-7, Monroe Central leads Beallsville on the Bill Forbes scoreboard. Good shot from field level. Not sure of the delay. 2:41 to play. I think someone took time out. Good chance for some of these youngsters to get in the Beallsville-Monroe Central game. Of course, this is rivalry weekend with Martins Ferry playing against Bel Air tonight and River Shadyside in a crucial game, especially for River, because a win and they may get in. It'll be a very long shot, but
we need quite a bit of help. And let's not forget that Union Local Barnesville game also, which a lot of people have some interest in that.
And Park Brook tonight, our game of the week, which you can see tomorrow at 4 right here on 7. And here is a fumbled snap. And Monroe Central with the lead still 38-7 with 2:28 to play. In a game which was really never in doubt. The Noles scored on its first 4 possessions, and they led it 32-0 at the half. Have added another touchdown, 2 touchdowns, or one, just the Wilson score, the 64-yard run, to make it 38-0, and the Devils just broke the scoreboard with 3 minutes left to preserve the non-shutout. And here is another fumbled snap by Hogue. And that wasn't pretty. The JV game has broken out here.
4th down and 5.
Long night for some of the Blue Devils. That's Crum. We played a great game, though.
And Monroe Central will punt, and because of the conditions, they'll put their first group back in to punt the football.
Joris to punt. Going way back to receive the football is Aaron Harper. Joris, a very good punter. Angling it towards the right hash. Fair catch called for and fumbled by Harper. He got it back with 1:18 to play. Well, we'll see a lot of young Blue Devils here, too. And here we go. It's a lot of white jerseys for the Noles. Matt Abrigg. Right there, number 7. New quarterback in the game, or is Harper the quarterback?
Yeah, Harper's going to be the quarterback.
Straight up the middle to, I have no idea.
This is the end of the game. We'll probably try to get
I think it was
Brian Blue.
Okay.
Okay.
Jonathan Kinney, the ball carrier on the play.
That was Jonathan Kinney, the ball carrier, 44.
2nd down, 8 Blue Devils.
And you can see the crowd here on the home side. One of them have gone home for the night. And I like this Aaron Harper, just a sophomore.
And number 77, which is Shriver, who had a different jersey than what we anticipated, is lined up at fullback.
Hand it off. Steve Skinner. And that may do it. 28 seconds to play. Well, the Noles dominated, and they go 10-0 for the 6th time under Jaser Costa.
And this also should wrap up another OVAC under Jaser Costa, and I think that may be a dozen. And before we sign out of here, Mike, also we want to thank Johnson Construction for the use of the scaffoldings for our cameras tonight.
Yeah.
And I know that's greatly appreciated.
Sure was. A wet, blustery night, and the clock has reached 0 here in Beallsville. The Monroe Central Seminoles have gone undefeated in 2002, whipping their cross-county rivals 38-7. The Seminoles and the Noles, and it's good to see Jaser Costa and Dave Caldwell shaking hands. Long-time combatants. This is always a great rivalry game, and the wind begins to whip up. Jaser Costa, 332 victories. 346 is the all-time record. The way this team is going, he'll get that sooner than later.
And I'm sure Monroe Central people hoping to play quite a few more here as the month of November rolls around.
Wilson with a 200-yard, 2-touchdown night. He leads the Valley with 22 touchdowns. The Noles did not shut out the Devils. They got into the scoreboard late. But Monroe Central going to raise those Seminole helmets into the air with victory number 10. Jeff Stevens, you've seen a lot of Woodsfield in Monroe Central football. Is this the best team Jason Costa has ever had?
Well, it's really hard to compare groups. I tell you, it's probably the most balanced as far as having weapons, as far as being able to run and pass the ball. And there's some excellent people here, and with what they did last year.
And you can hear Jaser Costa say, champs of the PVC OVAC in 10-0, it's time to start the second season.
And last year, that second season lasted for 4 weeks. But, you know, you now definitely have to take it 1 week at a time.
We thank everyone for working on the game tonight under these miserable conditions. Our director, Dave Gordon. Monroe Central beats Beallsville 38-7. Final check of the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. Thank you, Forbesy. For the Spider, Jeff Stevens, I am Mike Anthony. That is Jaser Costa. Congratulations, Coach. 10-0. Kisses all around. The Noles go unbeaten again. You've been watching an exclusive presentation of WTRF Sports, your official Super 6 football station, so long from a soggy Beallsville. Good night, everybody.
Monroe County Birth to 3 is fun and free to pregnant women and families with children from birth to 3. We provide group activities where children learn to play together. Birth to 3 reaches out with a variety of services and information specific to each family's needs. Home visits emphasize child development, parent-child interaction, a developmental screening, and a newborn home visit conducted by a registered nurse. Call Monroe County Birth to 3 services at 472-0852. It's never too early to have a healthier, happier family.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
You can tell your friends that you're not buying until you've checked Stone Ford. And here's why.
Professional salespeople, service after the sale, a state-of-the-art collision repair center.
A huge selection of new cars and trucks.
High trade-in, quality pre-owned vehicles priced to fit your budget. That's why we say,
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Stone Ford Lincoln Mercury, Morristown, Ohio. Take exit 208 off I-70, a Blue Oval certified dealer.